You're listening to Productivity Monsters in the Morning. We are the energy volt your real estate business needs to get you up and out and excited and productive for the day. We go over trending topics and things that really matter in the market of the moment. Here are your hosts, Tiffany Hampton and Brooke Silva. Good morning. We're hitting that record button fast on a Monday, Tiffany. My goodness.
Well, like legit, it's Monday. It's time to get it going. And as much as we should not look at the beginning of anything as the start of new, because at any moment in time, you can change the trajectory of your life. Monday mornings is the start of a new week.
It is. And I love Mondays. I'm one of those weirdos. I always have. For me, when your life is busy with children on the weekend, Mondays feel like, oh, I'm back to I'm back, because it's crazy. My life is crazy as a mom, and a wife and a friend. So I love Mondays. I love them.
Absolutely. So we're going to talk a little bit about it. Super Bowl was yesterday. Let's talk about gamifying life.
Oh my God. I love gamifying things. I took a lot of classes on game design when it comes to education.
That makes a lot of sense.
I fell in love with it. So when I was in IT, one of the ways you sold more product was by educating people. Sound familiar? Mm-hmm. And how we did that was not through the people who signed the checks for purchase, but through the educators to make sure they understood how to use whatever software thing, whatever widget it was. And gamification with the instructors to teach the instructors how to use the products to gamify it for kids became a passion project of mine. And I wish all adults would keep that open mind, because we all love games at some point, whether it's a card game or board games, but we all do better when we bring an element of fun to it. And that's what I live for. Is I do not thrive in a world where I'm not engaged, right? College was really difficult for me. So difficult that I went to a school that was online and everything was pre-recorded. And it's how I got through most of my college, because I was like, I'm gone. You've lost me. I couldn't be an instructor who was just sitting there and just squawking. My husband's, sometimes his schools, if I listen into some of his classes, I'm like, I could have read those slides for you. Because that's all the instructors are doing, are reading the slides. And I'm like, how are they bringing real experiences in to make sure the learning, whatever, that's a different soapbox. But
it's funny because just staying on that lane, I used to talk at people all the time. It was my thing. And throughout my years, I'd say over the last 3 years, I've learned how to ask great questions, to the point it drives Christopher crazy, because he's like, stop asking me questions. I was like, but you learn more when you answer the question.
Right. And I know I'm built and wired a little different, right? So last week I got to visit some of our market centers dressed up with, as usual, I was Cupid, I was Data Bay, I was a relationship database counselor.
How we're friends, I don't understand.
But as funny as it is, it's amazing how when I roll in like that, all the pressure of going to a database class now comes off your shoulders, because you're learning to fall back in love with a world you came into because you loved doing something and it was helping people find homes. So one of the small tips and tricks we gave was, don't clean your database, because you're not going to.
Well, it's work.
It's work, but it is senseless work if you are not doing it correctly. So yes, clean your data, but there's no way you can say, I'm going to sit down this weekend and I'm going to update every person in my database. You're just not going to do it. And if you are, let's talk, because I would love for you to teach a class to me on how to because there's two parts to clean data: the actual information and then doing something with the information. So if you're hyper focused on getting everybody clean, but not doing anything with it, you're missing such an important point of it. So last week we talked about going backwards from the most recent thing you've done, whether it was a conversation or a closing. Whoever you are in conversation with, go backwards from them. Get them as clean as humanly possible, and then do action with it. Call, check in, send a note, do something. Make sure that you're never going to forget to stay in contact and keep the info up to date. And, you know, you'll see the pictures. I'm sure you've already seen a few. There's some video coming too. They also didn't tell me they had a photographer that day for things in the market center. So like there's, you know, all these beautiful pro photos of me dressed like an absolute moron, but that's all right.
Whatever it takes.
We did, because you know what? For the 47 people sitting in that packed classroom, we took so much cool action, and we took quick, easy action with big results. And I think that's the biggest piece of that, is that we took action immediately from that class and reached out to people, understood how to put real data in, and just got excited about being in love, because it is the month of love, with our business again. Last week was a good week.
Yeah. I'm going to let that just roll over there.
Do you want to dress up with me? I have an extra pair of Cupid wings.
I'm so good.
Okay. They're adorable. Okay.
So thank
I
you.
also have glasses and little beboppers.
Right. Well, and you go to a level of dressing up, right? Like, and my gamifying, like if you were to look at my board across the way, I have everything gamified. So I know, and in my world, I know in order to reach my goal, I have 3 different businesses, and all 3 of them will get me 100% to my goal. Right. And I gamified it the way I gamify it, like play a game board, right?
Right.
Because that's what motivates for me.
Yeah. And everybody's got a different motivation. But I think at the end of the day, everybody gets anxiety over something. Overwhelm is something I hear. That's a word that is used a lot in our world. It's overwhelming to learn everything. But nobody in your entire life should be asking you to learn everything about everything and whatever you're doing all at once. We've really got to master one small thing to create a big result and move on and build and build and build. Right? Somebody asked me the other day, they're like, quick, I'm going into a big thing and I need some type of dialogue to go over with people. And what was my response? I know you saw it because it was typed out in our chat server, but I was like, hello, how are you?
Right?
That's your script. That's it.
Well, and you know, exactly what we're talking about and the whole point of gamifying. So Ben Kinney, who's huge in the KW arena, he does this whole thing right now. He's doing Wealth Series. And the question he asked over the weekend was, are you living your life consciously? When you gamify stuff, you have to stay conscious.
You do.
Right? Because if you're playing Monopoly, yeah, I know. We're not talking. We've had this conversation before. When you play Monopoly, especially with realtors, you have to stay conscious.
You do. You do. This is but we can have fun and we can be human.
Not fun with realtors.
No, I won't play. And so here is my whole tech thing for you. And I know it's like beating a dead horse, but you've got to mark it down. Mm-hmm. You've got to mark everything down in a way that's so granular that you can actually get bigger from it. And what I mean by that is, just because you know how to do something doesn't mean the next person coming in your world to support you in any role knows how to do those things. So no matter how new you are in this business or how long you've been into it, mark everything down, log every single activity that it doesn't matter how big or small, because those small things lead to big relationships. And you're also showing how you scaled your business. For instance, I might not know coming into your world, Tiffany, how you like to work with buyers or sellers, but you're using opportunities. And at every stage, I know what I'm supposed to do because there's a checklist attached. It doesn't matter how granular it is. It could say, get email. And then the next step, verify email. Is this the right email? But you know what? As a brand new agent or someone trying to support you, because you are being thoughtful about your business, I can support you and help you scale.
Yeah. And, staying with the theme of gamifying, those opportunities in those boxes, like there are agents in my market center that actually play the game of how many boxes they can move in any given day, right? Like, so
Yeah.
to have the ability to put the checklist in there, to have the support, the one stop, and then, right, it's systems, technology, processes, and then you add the people.
You do. And it's okay to have fun. I think that's really hard as adults and business owners. And I'm attracted to that energy, right? Like I like to bring that energy back to our region, and whomever's sitting across from me, whether it's one person or 5,000, right? We're allowed, my 3 L's are love, laughter, and learning. And that they're there for a reason. When your mind is entertained, when you feel safe, when you understand that not everybody knows everything, you're going to absorb more and you're going to put more into action when you leave our classes. So gamify, you know how many calls you have to make, you know how many closings you need, because we've talked about numbers and we're not talking about numbers anymore today. But we know what we're supposed to do. It's okay to gamify it. And you know what? If you want to reach out to me and say, Brooke, help me compete with myself and gamify my goals, I would love to help you do that based on who you are, what you love, and just getting you in front of your goals different.
Absolutely. All right, my friend, have an amazing Monday.
Have an amazing Monday. I'll be dressed up tomorrow. Maybe.
I will not be, but that's okay. Goodbye.